Hello and welcome to Yoga Basics. I'm Patty, I'll be your instructor today. Let's go ahead and start by finding a comfortable seated position. You're welcome to sit down on the floor, but unless you're really comfortable sitting straight to the floor, I recommend sitting on something. I'm sitting on some blankets here. You can even sit on a chair. And if you do sit on a chair, scoot yourself all the way forward so it's your sit bones there at the bottom of the hips that you feel pressing down. So with this being our anatomical center of gravity, from here down, muscles push down. From here up, they extend up. And you'll find space right here in the very center of the body, in your jeweled city, as they say in yoga. Once you've found that downward pressure at the hips and that upward pressure at the sternum, go ahead and find your breath. You'll find it first outside of your nose, then you'll feel it in your throat, and it might get a little fuzzy after that. But just notice your breath. Notice the physical sensations in your body as you're following your breath. Notice if you were holding your breath. Notice the length of the inhale. Notice if there's any gripping or holding when you transition into the exhale. Notice if there's a drop to get the exhale to happen. Notice the length of the exhale. Notice at the end of the exhale, does it finish? Or do you sort of bounce back into the next breath? Don't make any judgment calls about your breath. Don't wonder why it's one way or wish it was another. Just notice what is. Finding the inhale, that pause of retention at the breath at the top, finding the exhale, and that pause of suspension at the bottom before finding your next breath. Now let's transition the point of the breath from outside of the nose to down in the low belly. And even though we don't really breathe with our low belly, it seems like we do when we do a diaphragmatic breath. That's where the diaphragm changes positions, allowing more space around the lungs. So bringing the breath down here to your anatomical center of gravity, allowing your belly on your next inhale to seemingly fill, allowing the inhale to rise up, and then allow that exhale to slide back down, literally drawing your belly in, back, and up. Again, inhale at the low belly, your mid and side chest, your upper chest and back, and then exhale the breath back down, literally drawing the belly in, up, and back to facilitate that exhale. Once more, inhale at the low belly, the mid and side chest, your upper chest and back, and then exhale, trying to maintain any length as you bring the breath down and the belly in, back, and up. Now, release technique and just observe your breath for a moment. Notice if it's changed. Notice if it hasn't. Notice if you can't tell. All good. Just notice. I'd invite you to bring your hands to your heart in the prayer position, what's called the Anjali Mudra in yoga, the mudra for overcoming obstacles. Allowing your palms, thumbs, and fingers to gently press, let your shoulders pull away from each other. And as you feel your heart lift and open, take a moment and set an intention for yourself. Claim for yourself what it is that you want. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Take just another moment with this intention. And so it is. Blink your eyes open if they were closed. Inhale big. And then sigh out the exhale as you bring your hands back down to your lap. All right, so joining us for the session today is Jessie. Let's start by bringing the legs out. Or if you were in a chair, just releasing any tension of the posture, rock. And go ahead and roll out your ankles, bringing some synovial fluid or creating synovial fluid for the ankles. And if you allow the whole leg to sort of roll in and out, you're also creating the fluid up here in the hips, where our synovial joints are lined with synovial cells. And when they feel that rotational motion, they get excited and they create the synovial fluid necessary to cushion and cleanse those joints. All right, go the other way. Make the circles as big as possible. Don't be satisfied with little tiny circles. Try to see if you can get your toes to touch the floor, or at least to come a little closer to the floor than they were on the last lap. And then let's go ahead and spread toes to the best of your ability. Spread your fingers. Feel the soles of your feet stretching. Feel the palms of your hands stretching, reaching your hands and feet away from the midline of your body. Inhale big. And then as you exhale, squeeze your hands, your toes, your arms and legs, squeeze, and then release the squeeze. Spread the toes and fingers, stretch. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze, squeezing the muscles to the bones. Release the squeeze, stretch, spread. Once more, inhale. And then exhale, squeeze even your face and your belly. Squeeze everything. And then release and shake it out. So we're going to start with some Sufi rolls. So come off your supports, unless you're really, really tight. If your knees are real high up when you sit to the floor, go ahead and sit on something. It'll give you a little bit more room. But most of us can try to get straight. So Jesse is going to cross his legs at the front, but some of you may be able to line your legs up at the front where they're side by side. As hips open, it gets a little more comfortable when you put the feet next to each other rather than underneath the shin bone, because that just squishes the feet when you go around. But whatever your body is allowing for today is your proper pose. So Jesse's got his left leg in front, so let's start there. Hands are going to go on your shins. You're going to use this leverage to extend the spine up as you inhale. And exhale, fold forward, bringing your heart towards the floor. Good. Just take a moment and see how this feels. See where the tightness is. Maybe it's in the back of the left hip if your left leg's forward. It'll be in the back of the right hip if your right leg's forward. Or it could be somewhere else. Maybe it's the low back. Take an in-breath here with the heart going towards the floor. And as you exhale, let's go to the left with your torso. Hold onto your shins and drop back, arching the back, moving over to the right with your torso, and then back forward towards the floor. So keep these circles going. They're called Sufi rolls, putting the spine through its range of motion. So in Sufi rolls, you can do these at any time of the day or night. You can do them before you eat to prepare your body for digestion. You can do them after you eat to help improve your body's ability to digest food. You're dramatically moving lymph fluid through the torso, releasing stagnant fluid and energy that might have built up right down here in, as I said, your anatomical center of gravity, which is down between your hips. Now, once you feel a little comfortable with these actions, when you come over your left knee, place your left hand on the floor, look at your left hand to keep it out of your neck, and reach your right arm over your head. Now let's go palm down, palm towards the floor, and as that right arm reaches over the head, bring your attention to your right side body and inhale into the right side body. See if you can feel the extension or the expansion of those ribs as you inhale. And then as you exhale, draw that belly in, up, and back, and see if you can't feel the musculature of respiration contracting through that right side body. Few more breaths here. And also, let's bring that aerial arm to straight. So go straight through the elbow, straight through the wrist, straight through the joints of the fingers to the best of your ability. And then, as long as we're here, breathing deeply, roll through your wrist. So take that aerial wrist and make big circles with it, doing the same kind of exciting of the synovial cells that we did in the ankles and the hips to open with. If you go one way, make sure you go the other way about the same amount of time. You're welcome while your arm is in the air to twist it internally and externally, trying to bring the twist up all the way into the shoulder. Remember to keep it friendly in the neck by just looking down. And then when you're ready, bring that aerial arm back behind you, stretch through the front body, then bring that arm in front of you and back up towards your face, back behind you again, making the circles as big as possible with this right arm. Feeling where in the body this stretching transitions. And then when you feel complete through this right side body, go ahead and place your hands back on your shins and make a couple more laps around just to stabilize at the low back, stabilize the QL muscles. And then when you're ready, you'll come back upright and we'll do the other side. Legs out, rock to release the posture. And then if the left leg was in front last time, let's put the right leg in front. So draw the left leg in, the right leg is in front. You'll switch if you were going the opposite way from us. Hands on your shins. Inhale, extend the spine up. Exhale, fold the heart towards the floor. You're flexing open the front of the spine, so shoulders come back as heart goes forward. That changes the stretch. Another in-breath here. And as you exhale, bring yourself to the right. And then hold onto your shins, drop back, arch, move to the left. Pressing the heart towards the floor on the front of the circles and pulling your heart back behind your tailbone on the back of the circles. Allowing your breath to be a part of this posture, Sufi roll. Notice where the inhale seems to be the easiest, and notice where you can get the most complete and thorough exhale. And then when you feel complete in this direction, the next time you come over your right knee, put your right hand onto the floor and reach your left arm over your head. Now let's stretch through this left side body. So your aerial hand is palm down, little internal rotation of the arm. Go ahead and go straight through this arm, straight through the elbow, the wrist, the fingers, really snugging the muscles up to the bones. Find the left side body. Allow your breath to fill those ribs. See if you can notice the expansion of the rib cage. Allow your breath to come from these ribs. Notice the contraction of those same ribs. Pull the belly in. Roll through that aerial wrist, exciting the synovial cells. That's creating the synovial fluid to cushion and cleanse that wrist. Going one way and then going the other. Now, allow this aerial arm to come behind you, stretching through the front of the body, and then bring that arm down, cross it back in front of you, stretching through the back of the body, and then the arm back up. Making big, huge, internally rotated circles now with this left arm. And just notice where in the body you're feeling the stretch, the transition of muscles extending and contracting. Maybe even feeling the whole length of some muscle groups. And then, when you feel complete now on this side, hands back on the shins. Make a couple circles around just to stabilize at the QL, the low back. And when you feel stable and ready, just come back up to an upright torso and pause for a moment and feel. This is the soak after the squeeze. Okay, let's go ahead and come to your backs with your knees bent. Jesse, you too. Head this way. And from here, we're going to do a happy baby just to help release the hips and the spine. So bring your knees into your belly, soles of the feet towards the ceiling, grabbing hold of the outer edge of your feet. Let your tailbone reach down for the mat and let your head and shoulders reach for the mat. Feet are wide apart. You may have more luck in this posture if you grab the back of the thighs. So let's just show them what that looks like. Grab the back of the thighs. This helps too, decompressing the spine and releasing the hips. If the tailbone's reaching close enough to the floor, you can rock side to side. Some of you might not be able to rock, and that's fine. It'll come in time. And you're just giving a little gentle massaging action to the kidney adrenal areas in the back of the body. Excellent. Okay, release the baby. Place your feet on the mat. Now, for those of you at home, if you will get to a block or a set of really firm blankets or a pillow that won't squish, it has to be really something super hard and firm. With Jesse, I'm going to use these blankets that he was sitting on, and we're going to go upside down for a few moments. Let me do it a little differently this time. You're going to press into your feet and lift your hips once you find your supports. Then you'll put the supports under your sacrum. Your sacrum is high up on the buttocks, but low on the waist, right there in the mid-hip. Once you feel comfortable here, bring your knees into your belly. If this doesn't feel pinchy or awkward in the back, you can bring the feet up. But if it does feel awkward in the back, make an adjustment. Sometimes bringing the supports a little bit higher up the back is the way to go. Then, legs up. And now you've come upside down. One of the most powerful, along with twisting and shavasana, of parts of your yoga practice is an inversion. So we spend most of our time this way or lying down or in a seated posture, and we've always got gravity going, pulling at us. So when you turn the body upside down, things that normally get pulled on are now gently being pushed on. Changing the aspect of gravity on the inside of the body to provide gentle stress so that the body can learn how to handle the gentle stress, so when the big stressors come along, you're prepared. Now, while you're upside down, you want to maybe tuck your shoulders behind you a little more, getting a little more opening at the chest. If you would like, you can get some more movement through your ankles and through your feet. You can squeeze the muscles to the bones of the legs and release. Just taking a few moments to find some movement, and then moving your way into some stillness. And as you find the stillness, let your belly soften. Down here in this anatomical center of gravity, we're compressing all day long. So now you're giving some opening, some space for a free flow of fluid and energy. Your heart's lifted a little, the shoulders are pulled back. This is probably close to the exact opposite of the position you might normally find yourself in during the day. So you just have to stay here for a few moments. The body wasn't meant to be upside down all day long, just for a few moments in the day. And you want to try to go upside down before you've eaten anything, or you want to wait an hour to 3 hours after eating before going upside down. So we're dramatically moving lymph fluid through the body. The lymph fluid is the fluid that cleanses your blood. And it cleans the blood of viruses, bacteria, toxins, other metabolic waste. And this lymph fluid moves through the body. Now, your blood moves through the body because your heart's pumping it. Pretty much no matter what position you get in, the blood's going to be moving through. The lymph fluid only moves when you move. You're the pump. So occasionally, to get all this lymph fluid back into the center of the torso where it gets refreshed and cleansed, we have to put the feet above the head. There's just no other way to do it, except maybe roller coaster rides over and over again. But the feet above the head, and in this case, the hips above the heart, have gently turned the body upside down. All right. So inhale here, and on the exhale, bring your feet down to the mat. Press into your feet and lift your hips. While your hips are in the air, you can remove the supports that you were on. And let's keep the hips in the air for just a moment or so. We're going to start doing just a little contracting through the back and through the belly for some strength building. So I'd like you to lift your hips up and squeeze through the buttocks and squeeze through the back muscles and feel the engagement of the back of your body while trying to bring the sternum towards your throat. Your chin aims towards the ceiling. We're not taking chin to sternum, that would be that way. We're taking sternum to throat. Yes, and you want to engage the whole back of the body to make this happen, letting the front of the body try to soften. Maybe you can feel your belly kind of getting long and concave. Now, another in-breath. And if you have back problems, exhale your back flat down to the mat. If you don't have any back problems, you can unroll it 1 little inch at a time. So one more thing now for the front of the body. Let's bring the feet up into the air again. And feet all the way to the top. Yeah. So from here, you can use your hands. Placing a hand on either hip, the floor on either hip or beside either hip. You can cup your fingertips if you want. And what you're going to attempt to do is lift your feet into the air by using your low belly muscles and using some of the strength from your hands. So lift the feet straight up. Excellent. What's going to happen when you first try this is there's going to be a lot of swinging forward. That's momentum. What we're trying to do is lift through engagement. So you can press with the hands, keep your head down to keep it safe and friendly in the neck, and you're just trying to lift the heels a tiny little bit to the ceiling so that we can engage the transverse abdominis, the lower part of it, a deep belly muscle that wraps right across the anatomical center of gravity. Doing anywhere from 3 attempts to 10 full lifts, whatever you've got in you. Breathing the whole time. That's what we do. We're yogis and we're humans, so we breathe. When things get really tough, what do? We breathe. When things are really great, what do? We breathe. Nice. All right. Inhale here. 1 more lift and then exhale. Your feet come down. Rest them on the mat for a moment. And now we're going to prepare for Shavasana. Shavasana being your final pose. And this is the pose where you attempt to find complete relaxation of your entire body including your mind. So let's bring the knees into the belly. We're going to do just one squeeze because of time. So inhale here. And as you exhale, squeeze yourself into a tiny little ball. Your feet are side by side. Tuck the chin, pull the belly back. It's a final internal massage. And then release the squeeze and let your legs go long down the mat. Is your low back good? Yep. Now his shoulders look just a little bit tight because I can see his chin up in the air, so I'm going to give him one blanket for his head. You're trying to get to where your ears, your shoulders, your hips, and your heels are all on the same plane. Once you find this posture after your squeeze, you want to rock until your low back is comfortable. And then you want to let your upper back flatten. Whatever you have to do to have that happen, sliding the shoulder blades down. You want to tuck the chin, getting long in your neck. And let your hands come about 1.5 feet away from your hips or so, if this is comfortable, and turn the palms up. You're always welcome to bring your hands to your belly if you've got wrist or shoulder issues too. Once you've found this position, melt. Melting into the shape of this pose. Softening your feet, letting the toes splay open, allowing your thighs to feel heavy and your belly soft. Release your chest, let your heart lift, but your shoulders lower, melting your shoulders down your arms until your palms feel like puddles. Swallow, releasing through the throat, letting the skin on your cheeks go slack. Allow your tongue to rest gently in the back of your mouth, releasing any conversation with yourself and instead tuning into observation of yourself, observing as your tongue spreads side to side. Soften your face. Bring your gaze inward. Be brave and release the grip of your brain, letting it rest gently in the back of your skull. Let your skull widen and spread on the blanket or the mat or the floor. Find your front body, and in its entirety, let it melt into your back body. Allow your back body then to melt into the mat, into the floor, into the ground. In the final few moments of this pose, just observe your breath as it moves freely through your body. Observe your body. Notice if you've started gripping, whether it's new tension or long-held tension. Do your best to release that tension and observe your mind. Notice what thoughts you let go of. They're just thoughts, let them go. And instead bring yourself back into observation. Spending this final moment or so tuning in to the various vibrations of you. All right. Go ahead and begin to deepen your breathing. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Make circles with your wrists and your ankles, big wide circles one way and then the other. And then reach your arms up long and stretch your fingers away from your feet. Stretch, make space, especially through your belly. Another in-breath here and exhale, release. Very good. So, draw your knees up into your belly. Roll to your right side. Make a pillow for your head with your right arm. Now pause here for a moment and just let your body observe, kind of bringing your mind back into your body. And take this moment and thank yourself for your practice, enabling the gifts and the benefits to continue to penetrate to every level, including the deepest level. All right, inhale. And on the exhale, use mostly the strength of your left arm to gently press yourself up. coming into any comfortable seated posture that you'd like. I know that Jessie would like at least one blanket. You've got more. Once you've found yourself in a comfortable seated posture with the hips pressing down, your sternum rising towards your throat. Remember, it's not throat to sternum, but sternum to throat. Go ahead and, if you'd like, bring your hands back to your heart in the prayer position. Palms, thumbs, and fingers gently press, shoulders pull. And this time, as your heart lifts and opens, bow your head to meet it. And take this moment to honor the truth, the light, and the wisdom existing within every cell of your body. May you be peaceful. May you experience poise, equanimity, and abundance. May you be well. Namaste.